Hello, 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 and welcome to the Wizard Show. I am joined here by my friend, Stonksy legend, YouTube legend, all-round trading legend, Mr. SaveWithCrypto. How are we?
Hello there. Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. Yeah, I'm all good actually. Yeah, it's great. Got some nice trades going on, so I'm a happy bunny today.
Yeah, it's been a lovely green day. I especially sort of with the pullback yesterday gave way to get some good entries in. I felt it was probably quite a good opportunity. Um, yeah. What were you looking at in particular? Was it mostly Bitcoin, Ethereum?
Well, I've got some big Bitcoin and Ethereum trades going on that have been, they've been there for quite a while actually. So I've got like really good entries on those. But I've actually been trading Sui actually.
Okay.
Mainly because I watched the Block Pro show on Monday. Block Pro's the trader
Mm.
guy from Crypto Saving Expert, and for those in the what do you call it, the what's it called, the premium, yeah. For those in the
Premium, yeah.
premium, he does these like shows at 5 o'clock every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and the Monday one's usually about Bitcoin and the main ones. And but he did mention Sui actually, and I think he did anyway, or maybe someone else mentioned it. But and there were just like really obvious ranges, and I thought, well, okay, well that's time to go long on that, and that was, I don't know, 3 point something, and then it went up to 4 point something, and I bagged about a grand then, and then it came back down, so I'm doing it again now. So it's my favourite bit is when you got a crypto that's stuck in a range, and you just sort
Yeah.
of long it, wait for it to come back, do it again, wait for it to come back, do it again, and that is what I think I did back when I started trading, and I actually made a load of money like really quickly, and I think it was just because Bitcoin was like just stuck in a range, and I just kept trading it over and over again, and seemed quite easy at the time, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love Sui. I was quite fortunate. I say fortunate. I held on to it a little bit too long, but I was buying up Sui. Um, I was buying up Sui when it was about sort of 60, 69, 75, between 65 and sort of 80 cents uh, last summer.
Hmm.
I met a friend at the Solana Hacker House, and he was very bullish on Sui, so I bought some then. Uh, Unfortunately, I slightly bag held it and didn't manage to get out when it went over $5, and instead I was selling sort of around the level we're currently at. Um,
Oh, okay.
and I never really got back in. I sort of traded it up once it got into once it got back into my buy range, which was if I look at my chart, my buy range was $2.02 up to $2.27, and then I didn't get matched on my order for June. I had it. It literally just touched above my block, so I'm sort of a little bit sidelined on Sui, but
Hmm.
I quite like the ecosystem though, and that's always been something that I've quite liked doing. So if there's an ecosystem I like, I'll look at the DeFi on it, um, and that's
Right.
one of my big positions I've got at the moment that's quite profitable is Cetus, which
Okay.
is one of the dexes on it. That was one that was the one that I don't know if you remember. It had the protocol hack where they drained all the liquidity pools, um,
Yeah,
and
I
it
do.
was and it sort of absolutely plummeted, and it was like, is this going to be the death of it? Oh, and it actually did quite well. I'll show my chart actually,
Yeah.
so people can see. There we are. So this is what I had marked out for Cetus. So as we can see, up above that level, broke that level there, down into this buy zone up here, and then for me, it was once it broke this level of support that we'd had, all of this for me was just a buy zone. So I've just had a DCA order running on these, and we got a little bit of a breakout. It's retraced a little bit, but we got a big candle down, and then sort of that recovery candle. So this should be, I'm hoping that we see quite a violent rip to the upside, particularly on this once we clear like this level.
So I've got my wall here. Right? It's covered in post-it notes of things you've mentioned, right? and it's like I'm gonna have to put it into different categories, like like Wizzy's stock picks and Wizzy's crypto and Wizzy's DeFi specials. How do you do it? How do you just pull them out of nowhere? It seems, and like how do you do that?
For me, it's always been, so it comes back to sort of when I tended to look at stocks, is I'd look at the supply chain, I'd look at sort of what they impact. So if, for instance, you were, I don't know, bullish on chips, you'd look then at who's making the chips, who's engraving the chips, what machinery they're using on the chips to make them, and sort of that realm, and follow it from there. And I think certainly in DeFi, you've got obviously the main token SUI, which for me I like. I don't think the risk reward on SUI is quite there, unless you're trading it. I don't think that, like, if you're holding this spot, you're maybe, I reckon, topping out of the cycle if you're around sort of this region here. So you're only sort of then getting sort of a less than a 2x. But these things are quite good to trade because they move relatively well. However, if you're looking for like the mega movers, I mean, this thing is moving 5-6% a day.
Yeah.
So you can see that. And I think, this thing, if you reran the where we were before Trump took everything out in the market from the impulse level, I mean, you're looking at a 1.5x.
Is that your foot spa going on?
No, there's a bin truck outside my house.
Sorry.
They've come for a lot of stuff in my watch list. A lot of this altcoin trash is going. This thing. I've got it on leverage, but I've got it on leverage at a low enough position that I feel relatively comfortable.
You can sleep at night.
Yeah, just about.
Like that, is it?
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't want to sleep on it when it was here and they had the hat, but yeah, I've always been more drawn to the DeFi systems, and it's the same with ETH. Like, you can sort of get leverage plays on ETH, so something like LDO, for instance. Like, if you're bullish on ETH, you've got more upside on this than you have on ETH.
Yeah, I'm always worried them sort of things will just disappear though overnight for some reason.
There are some bad ones. I've got some like Scroll. I really like this project, but this is one that I've had to be quite patient waiting for a zone. But this one feels quite interesting.
So I've never heard of that.
So it's a ZK protocol on ETH. The only issue is, I think, is you saw a lot of these scaling protocols come to ETH, and now that ETH has fixed or at least remedied some of the issue that they had with scaling, it's whether what these have left in the tank. However, the risk reward for this is, this is the type of thing that you buy and it either completely dies, or you're getting like a 5 or 6x.
Yeah. You see, I'm familiar with those things. Like, I don't know. I got into this stuff years ago, and I discovered Elrond, and I thought, I thought Elron, that sounds good, you know, and yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was going to be the answer to all my dreams, you know. But the one good thing about it was I started making videos about Elrond, and consequently I got quite a big audience quickly. I got my first 1,000 subscribers quite quickly, and then it's just gradually got worse.
Yeah.
And then I picked on some other related projects using that, you know, the Elrond blockchain, and everything just turned to poop, you know. and now I'm like bag holding like all these things that I think, you know, I'm only in it for the tech. I'm a bollocks. I'm like 80 grand down, you know.
Yeah, no one's in it for the tech. I think if you're there for if you're here in the space because fundamentally you believe it on an ideological point of view, you don't need to hold much outside of Bitcoin and possibly Ethereum.
Yeah, I'm even changing on that though now. I'm actually thinking because I always used to trade. I always used to love the idea of trading inverse perpetual. So I'd be trading with Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's what I'm holding. And you know, when it's going up, I'm trying to get more of that. And when it goes down, I wasn't necessarily shorting it, but I'd be ready to sort of long it on the way back up. You know, and of course, what it meant was that because I think I've kind of been in this for like, I suppose this is my second bull cycle, I suppose. So the first one, you know, peaking in 2021, that's your foot spa, isn't it?
Yeah, that that is the foot massager.
Foot massager, yeah. So I recognise the same beep from Dave's one, you know.
Yeah, Dave's been running his all day every day for the last 2 years.
I know he's probably going to get shoes made like that, you know, so with a battery pack on his back, you know, so he can have his feet massaged all the time. Right, I completely forgot what I was saying now.
Were we talking inverse perpetuals?
Oh, right, yeah. And so that's what I always did. But of course, what that meant was when it got to like, you know, November 2021, I was looking at my balance thinking like, that's great, that's worth all them dollars. You know, I can do this and that with it all. Then, of course, you know, the bear market started and it all went down to being worth not a lot, you know, and I think it's because I was actually holding on to Bitcoin at the time. I thought like I don't want to sell the Bitcoin, you know. So now I'm actually quite happy now just to trade with like USDT pairs because when it's like lots of money, I think well it's in the account anyway, and if it's something like in Bybit or BitGet, I've got a card for it anyway, so I can just like spend some money while I've got lots of it, you know. So I'm actually less frightened now of spending money that I've earned because it's not in Bitcoin or Ethereum, you know. It's just in USDT, which I think I may as well just spend it and buy something with it, you know. So I'm getting a bit less precious about, you know, being a sort of like Bitcoin maximalist, even though I sort of am really, but like, you know, at these levels we're at now, I think it won't stay there for. I can't imagine it being at this level now for like another year. You know, I think it's going to go back down to like.
I think we have a crash.
Yeah, and back down to like 50k or something. You know, or
and that's when you load
like that. Yeah, absolutely, and that's what I wasn't prepared for last time. And I mean, you know, and what my biggest thing about this actually is I really wish I'd known how to trade back in 2020, because that's when I just bought a load of Bitcoin, and I kind of actually it's probably the bit where I tell my life story, isn't it? But anyway, but forgetting that, but I basically bought some Bitcoin around about 2019, 2020, and I remember my brother-in-law who worked for like HSBC, worked for that bank all his life, sort of thing. And he was like, "Oh, you're an idiot doing that. It's gonna it's all going to go to zero, and I was like, no, it won't, and so I'd spent about $50,000 on Bitcoin when it was about, I think it was costing about it was over $10,000, I think. No, it wasn't. No, I think it was about but it was about $8,000 or something like that. And then of course COVID happened, and I'm not supposed to say that, am I? The pandemic happened. The pandemic happened, and then the price went down to like $3,000, and so I was holding on to a load of Bitcoin then, and I was thinking like, well, oh my God, brother-in-law David was right. It's all gone. It's all worth bugger all now. My 50 grand's now worth like 15, and I thought, God, he was right. And I didn't know. I didn't know how to do trading. If I'd have known how to do leverage trading, I don't know. I think I would have probably just stuck it in a 5x leverage and just left it there for a year or something, and then the rest would be history, wouldn't it? I'd be like Crypto now, wouldn't I?
I rate him. I met him in Dubai, and he's got this Sprinter van, like fully kitted out, and we were waiting, and it pulled up, and the door opened automatically, and he ran, and he got in and drove off. And I think it was TMG said, he's got a toilet in the back of there for if he gets stuck in traffic.
That's yeah. I think he's not short of a few quid. That chap, is he?
No, I just remember him running over to his van. The door flicked open, and the seat was basically just like full reclined, and he just gets in, and the door shuts and drives off.
All right. What, actually like dives in?
It just jumps in as it's rolling. Because Dubai traffic is fairly horrendous.
Right. That's quite cool, actually, isn't it? Yeah. Was he sort of wearing like shorts and a flowery shirt and sandals?
He had trousers on. I think he had sandals on as well. Yeah, he was a really nice guy, actually. We were chatting to him for a little bit. We're outside Token 2049.
Yeah, I saw him on that. That's what's his name? Stephen Bartlett, is it?
Stephen Bartlett.
Yeah, he does that Diary of a CEO.
Diary of a CEO, yeah.
Yeah, he was on there. I think he was on there.
I'll have to check.
Was it him or was it? Or maybe it was someone else. I can't. But he was on a big, long, like hour-long interview with someone like that, and it was really good to see like the other side of him. The like not the shouty German, the sort of like more sort of peaceful guy. And I know you also talked about how he got there. And it was really good. Yeah, and I must admit he came across as like a really nice bloke, and I think it's when he does his show, he's just been a bit of a showman, as you should be, as I'm not when I do my ones.
It's all about the information. It's all about the information.
Well, you say that, but like I don't know. I'm quite aware. I've got quite a sort of like even when I'm really excited, I don't sound very excited, and. At the same time, when I'm like really annoyed with something, I kind of like, I don't know, I just sort of, I go, and that's a bit of a shame. And yeah, but yeah, that's all good. Well, it's good you've met him anyway. I've never actually met anyone crypto like apart from the Swiss ball team. I went over to Lausanne in Switzerland in 2022 for their annual meeting, and I met like Cyrus and Alex and Anthony and Cyrus's brother Alex, and and that was really nice. That was, but yeah, I never really met any of the YouTube people or anything like that. So yeah,
no, we met. I met Alex Fazell at the Swissborg event in Token 2049. That was quite a good event,
okay.
actually. That was they threw it was like this KOL event, so it wasn't that big. It was in like this sort of function room of a hotel, and I'd say there's probably about, I'd say at max it was probably about sort of 100 people or so there, but they pretty much pulled everything out with all the Swissborg KOLs. So obviously TMG was there. They had Coach K. He was quite a funny guy. I was sat outside chatting to him for a while. They had Kyle Schass was there.
All right.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was a good event, actually. I chatted to some really nice people there. But it's quite weird to see everyone away from the camera, and you sort of, when you meet them in real life, and you realise that they're sort of relatively normal people who do relatively normal stuff. Yeah, that was sort of my big takeaway. Is met some really good people over there.
Yeah,
And obviously when you go with TMG, the doors open. The doors open for you.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, that's cool. Just reading the comments. Got Steve in the UK saying, "Who is crypto saving expert?" I'm not. I'm not crypto. I'm not crypto saving expert. In fact. So the reason, right. So my channel's called Save with Crypto, right? And it's called that because it's named after me, because that's my real name. Actually, no, it's not. It's not. I was christened Save With, but I just put the crypto on the end because that's the industry I'm in. No, what it was. Do you know them unstoppable domains? Do you know about those?
No.
Right. Unstoppable domains are like domain names that you can buy, and you can have things like, rather than being .com or .co.uk, you can have like .crypto or .zil or .eth and things like that.
Okay.
However, they don't work like a normal domain, because you can't just sort of get that, change the name service, and then make a website and then off you go, because that's what I thought I could do. So when they first appeared, they seemed quite attractive, because everyone was trying to buy all the sort of like all the good ones. Same as like
crypto.com.
Well, exactly, yeah. So I thought, I'm going to get in there, and I looked for everything that I could find, and I was thinking of things like like trade crypto or buy crypto, because what it would be, it'd be .crypto, And I thought like trade crypto and all that sort of thing, and I couldn't find one at all that was any good. But what I did at the time was because I was living in France, right, and I was basically earning money in various different currencies, but I was earning quite a bit of money in the UK through a different business I had. So my UK bank balance was just kind of building up quite a bit, and I wasn't doing anything with it. All I did was, when I came back to the UK to see my mum and dad, I'd sort of use that money then. I thought it'd be really nice to put it in a savings bank, and I kind of like contacted my Santander bank and I said, "Can I have a savings bank?" And they said, "Yeah, sure. We got this one, that one, that one." And they said, "Okay, right. What's your address?" And I said, blah blah, Haute-Alpes, Briançon, France. And they were like, "Oh, yeah, we can't do that because you have to have a UK address." So I basically couldn't find anywhere to like, put the UK money to save it. So then I started thinking, what if I did something like buy Bitcoin with it, and that's initially what I started doing. Really was buying the odd bit of Bitcoin with my UK money. So in a way, I was having that as my savings bank. So that is the sort of save with crypto.
Save with crypto.
Yeah, so I thought, when I was looking for these domains, I'll see if I can get SaveWith.crypto, and I did, and so I've got that, and they're quite weird actually. You own a domain name, but it's actually technically an NFT. So you basically actually, it's different to a normal domain name, where normal domain names they're like on a sort of registrar sort of thing, and
Mm.
you have to kind of pay every year to keep it. With these unstoppable domains, they're actually like an NFT that lives on the Ethereum blockchain, and basically once you bought it, you own it, so you actually own the domain name. Whereas with a real domain name, you actually don't. You just kind of, well, you do, but it's part of the.
Yeah, you
It's
got to
basically
pay every year.
yeah, so in a way, it's a kind of decentralized way to own a domain name, which I thought was really cool at the time. But the problem is you can't just like, as I say, change the name service and build a website on it, because that was my idea. I thought, what I'll do, I'll build a website and then I'll put loads of affiliate stuff on it, because that's what I'd always done for the last 20 odd years. Was doing like affiliate marketing, and then I found that I couldn't actually do that. What you can do with it though is you can use it so that people actually can send things like Ethereum to SaveWithCrypto, and it ends up in my MetaMask. It's quite weird, but anyway. So then I thought, well, I have to buy a normal domain name. So I looked at SaveWithCrypto.com, and that had gone. So I actually bought a .org because I thought, well, it's going to be like a charity. I'm doing everyone a favour. It'll be all right. It'd be like a charity, SaveWithCrypto.org. Anyway, so I bought that. I did actually try and buy the .com last year, and I managed to get the guy down from like $4,000. It's like someone's owns it, and they're just sitting on it. They're not doing anything with it. And I got him down from $4,000 to $2,000, and then, but the criteria was you have to pay me by the end of the year. I got to like December the 31st, and I didn't quite have enough money in the right account, and I said, "Can you hang on another couple of days?" And he went, "No," and that was it. And it went back on GoDaddy for $4,000. So anyway, so I haven't got the .com. I've just got .org. So it's that was a different one. So it's SaveWithCrypto.org. The point is, though, I actually bought that before Jordan made Crypto Saving Expert.
Crypto Saving Expert, yeah.
Yeah, and when he did that, I thought, but I know why he did that, because it was just using the Martin Lewis idea, wasn't it? Because he's got that. Yeah. Because he's got Money Saving Expert, so Crypto Saving Expert, that makes sense. Anyway, so that is where the name came from. That was answering the question for Steve in the UK. What's the name of my band? I'm not going to tell you that, because that will fully dox me. That will fully dox me. All I can say is, if you were in the southern French Alps between 1997 and last year, you might have seen my band. And if you saw a guy finishing the show by doing Born to Be Wild and putting a condom on his head, that was my band. Yeah, what we did like kind of it was, obviously people in the Alps, they just go in there to sort of ski and stuff, and they don't really want to watch a band, but they just want to be entertained a bit and have a little dance around, so we did like, rock and pop sort of covers and stuff, but we did it in like a really extreme way by changing quite a lot of the words to make things quite funny and rude, and then having like loads of like props, loads of like toys to play with, like water pistols and and then we'd have we'd have all sorts of things. Like we have a big flip chart with like the words for a song on it, and then it was just a very, very funny show. Actually, it was amazing. Did that for many years. But anyway, so but I'm not going to reveal the name of the band, but I was the bass player in that band. Anyway, so
there you have
not many questions. Not many questions. Just Steve in the UK, actually.
Yeah.
Anyway. Right, I told you I'd go off on a tangent, didn't I? And I did.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. I didn't know the story behind it, so it's a learning curve for me.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, whereabouts in the Alps, or is that too doxing?
No, it was there's a town called Brian's song. Looks like Brian with CON on the end.
I think
Brian's song.
I'd skied near there because that's near Serre Chevalier, isn't it?
Right. Okay. Well, Serre Chevalier is where I lived. Yeah.
Oh, I love Serre Chevalier.
Right. I lived there for 20 years.
Oh,
and
memories of that.
all right. Oh, that's cool. You know it. All right. Are you a skier or a boarder?
Very much a skier. I've tried boarding. Never really been my cup of tea. But it's one of those, isn't it? I mean, there's no real incentive to learn both. Because then, in my mind, if I go skiing, it's just if I try and snowboard, it's a day less skiing. Almost sort of that opportunity cost.
Yeah, my thing was if I do it wrong, if you do snowboarding wrong, you tend to break your wrists.
Yeah.
If you do skiing wrong, you tend to bugger up your knees. And I
break
thought,
your legs.
Yeah, and I thought if I break my legs, I can still play bass. But if I break my wrists, I can't play bass, and then I won't be able to earn any money. So that's why I was always a skier, you know. But later on, I got a bit bored with the skiing, and I got into mountain biking a lot more, which is and I take it you've only been there in the winter, yeah.
Yeah. I've only done that in the winter.
I mean, it's beautiful, as you know, but if you imagine that in the summer, I mean, actually, just watching the transformation into summer is amazing. It's almost like, you know, someone just turns up the color. It's like, and you know, by like April, it's like all the snow's nearly gone. There's all like wildflowers everywhere, and it's absolutely gorgeous. It is. It's really gorgeous. And,
I've seen. I've been to Austria in the summer and sort of seen where I've skied, because I skied Innsbruck, and then I've been back to and done Innsbruck in the summer, and it's really nice. I've always wanted to do teen. I've always wanted to do teen in the summer and play golf there.
Okay.
But yeah, and it's always weird as well because Alpe d'Huez is another one. Like I look at Alpe d'Huez when they do the Tour de France. Like, I remember sort of barreling down. Mind you, when I skied Alpe d'Huez, there wasn't a whole lot of snow there anyway, so it wasn't too dissimilar.
I know it's a funny one there because it's like really quite high, and you'd expect the snow to be like really, really amazing. But,
it blows off.
But quite often we'd find that the snow in Serre Chevalier was sometimes better than Alpe d'Huez, because we used to go to Alpe d'Huez once a week to do a gig over there. So cause we knew the people who run Hotel Le Chamois there, and they got like a bar underneath called the Underground Bar, and we used to play there. So yeah, we used to have like a residency every Tuesday, I think it was. We used to go over there and play there, and we used to sometimes go over a day early and have a little ski first, you know. And it's good.
Yeah, you'd be rude not to.
Yeah, and then sometimes we go the other side and go to Les Deux Alpes.
Okay, yeah, I've done Les Deux Alpes.
Okay, have you been over to like Italy, like Claviere or Sestriere?
I've done Sestriere, so I've done Sestriere. Yeah, I mean that's all I've done in Italy. We did Sestriere, and obviously you ski down to Salzgitter.
Salzgitter, yeah.
Yeah, Salzgitter. Yeah, my pronunciation on the continent isn't. I'm very much Brit abroad. But I've mainly skied in France. I've done mainly Val d'Isère and Teen. I think I've done Val Claret 3 times, and I've done Val d'Isère twice. Really like Chamonix. I liked Chamonix. Done that twice.
Yeah.
Where else? Val Thorens always fun.
That's a weird place, though. It's like Hemel Hempstead on a mountain, isn't it? It's like,
yeah, it's crazy. Like it's when the weather closes in, it's not because there's no trees.
No,
it's just a bit like a wasteland.
Yeah, we used to call it Hemel Hempstead. You probably don't know Hemel Hempstead, but it's like
I stayed there once. I stayed there we did Wimbledon on a school trip, and we stayed in Hemel Hempstead. It was just in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, just it's probably worse now actually, but yeah. Anyway, got off track again, haven't we?
Yeah. So
I noticed
where were
Dafuku said I once had a great night in Val d'Isere while snowboarding back in '98, I think, with a band called the Mad Cows. They all had outfits on. It was wild. The Mad Cows, I don't know them.
Was it?
It wasn't. No. I've played in Val d'Isere. I haven't played that much there. I played in the Morris, which is a big pub in the middle of Val d'Isere, and I also played at what's that place at the other end of Val d'Isere? What's it called now? I can't remember. But played up there as well. So no, that wasn't me. We kind of got banned from Val d'Isere actually. So yeah. And then word got round, and we were pretty much banned from the Northern Alps. So we had to stay in the Southern Alps. Yeah, we went a bit over the top with one song once, and then someone slashed all the tires on the van, and wasn't the best of nights actually. Yeah, but
I'm trying to think what place it'd be.
At the end.
Yeah.
No, but you got that funicular in the middle, haven't you? And then and that, so it's like the other end of. So you got the town of. Hang on, get the map up there. What's it called? That's not it. Val d'Isere. I mean, we were staying in Teen Le Brevier, which is the
down at the bottom of it.
But there's that big dam with that big sort of
yeah.
What a brilliant part of the world, though, isn't it? You know.
It's beautiful. Yeah, I love Val Claret.
I mean, I mean, the thing with us, we actually went there in 2001, and that all came about because I've been playing in this band in Watford, and then the singer of the band he kind of phoned me up one day, and he said, Save, can I borrow your bass amp for 3 months? And I was like, no, you can't. So what do you want it for? He said, so I want to go to the Alps and put a little trio together and just do a season there. And I said, well, why don't I come with you and I'll play bass? And he was like, you can't do that. He just got married and stuff. And I said, well, I'll have a word with the wife and see what she says. So it was, I mean, she just got promoted as like to be like a super teacher. She got like head of department and all that sort of thing. So she was quite pleased with her kind of status, but at the same time, she was like really fed up with the bureaucracy that went with like teaching in the UK. So I thought it's got to be worth a go. So I was like, wifey, I kind of suggested this to her, and she was like, interesting. She said, well, so that's me and my mate, and I said, is Mrs. going too? I said, yeah, okay. She said, okay. So we got two guys, two guys, two girls. We could be an ABBA tribute band. I was like, right, that wasn't quite what I thought, but yeah, she said, let's meet them in the pub later on and let's discuss. So we actually went there with the idea of being a rock band, and then like a ABBA tribute band as well. And then what we ended up doing, we ended up making loads of different bands out of the same people. So we'd have like a sort of ska band, then we'd have a Blues Brothers tribute band, and then we'd have like lots of different things. So we could do different acts with the same people. That's how it ended up. And of course, we went there for the first season. I had a Ford Sierra at the time, and I bought a caravan for 700 quid from a bloke in Essex, and I thought we'd live in that for the winter. It wasn't quite as hideous as it sounds because we were able to plug it in, so we had like a little.
I was going to say, is that not a bit chilly?
Well, it was, when it gets down to like minus 15, and you've got like a 1mm perspex window on your caravan. It's kind of a bit, it's a bit challenging, but we did it. We survived the whole, whole winter season, and that was really good. And then back in England, I had like a little 1-bedroom flat in Hertfordshire, and it was in like a really nice town, and I'd rented it out to a friend of a friend, and that all seemed to be going fine. You know, he was paying the rent, and the rent was paying the mortgage and all that sort of thing. So we finished up in the Alps, and then we went off down to. I thought, I've got a caravan, so I may as well go caravanning. So, you know, put the caravan on the back of the Ford Sierra. We went off down to the south of France for a bit. Then we went into Spain, and then we started running out of money. So I kind of phoned my mate up and I said, like, I need to earn some money. Can we put the band back together? You know, he said, yeah, sure. You know, and we ended up doing the ABBA tribute show.
Okay.
At this little bar in Lestarty in the Costa Brava, and we actually had a residency there, like 2 nights a week during the summer. And we also were playing on a campsite where we were getting free camping for doing a show there, you know. And it was like brilliant. It was like, this is amazing. You know, I live in Spain, I live in a caravan, I'm playing music for a living, and it's really good. And then it all went wrong when my tenant back in the UK, he stopped paying the rent and went mad, you know. So we had to go back. We had to go back to England and throw him out, and get the flat back, you know. And I did that, and I realised at the time they built a bypass round the, well, it was a small town, like a big village, if you like. They built a bypass around it, and I picked up, like, there's just one of those free newspapers lying there, and I picked it up, and I thought, bloody hell, sort of like, you know, while we've been away, this property's gone up 40 grand in value.
Yeah,
and
not bad.
So what we did, we just painted it beige, and then sold it. Obviously, I had to pay the mortgage back at the time. Then we went back to France with a pile of cash, and we actually lived in the caravan for another season. But then the year after that, we thought, well, we've actually got enough money to buy a little apartment here, like without a mortgage, you know. So that's what we did. So we bought a place in Chantemel, which is like the main part of Serre Chevalier, you know. And so we bought an apartment there, and then we were just there then. So that's kind of how I moved to France, really. And then we had the apartment for a while. Then we had a first child. She came along. Then we thought we needed a bit more space, and then I got a little mortgage, and we bought a little chalet down the road, just outside Briançon, and that's where we were really until 2022, and yeah, and it was really good. It was a great sort of life, really, and I've gone off on a tangent again, haven't I?
No, it's fascinating.
Anyway, but it was all good until about 2016, and then my wife got ill, and it turns out she had colon cancer, and then and sadly she died in 2021, and at that point I was just sort of there in France with my daughters, who at the time they were like 11 and 16, and I was kind of like, what do you want to do? And they said, I want to live back in I want to live in the UK and next to our uncle, you know, who lives in the southwest of England. So that's what we did. We came back to England, really, because because, you know, they'd lost their mum and just wanted to be near family, sort of thing. So we're now back in the UK for a bit, which is all right. It's not ideal though, but it'll do for the moment. But yeah, so there you go. That's my life story. Well, a bit of it.
No, it's really really fascinating.
I should have mentioned crypto at some point, shouldn't I?
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll save that for a part 2.
Okay.
I think we can do a full crypto deep dive at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'm on with Ross at 11, so I might have to wrap this up a little bit. But I'd love to have you on again, Save. I think we could go off on even more tangents and go even deeper, and I can pull together a mega watch list. But yeah, what a story.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, I think everyone's probably gathered by now that I'm not in the same age group as you. I'm quite a bit older, you know. So it's part of the reason I don't put the camera on. Everyone will think, who's that old git, you know. And
I will say, in fairness, like the realm in which we operate. So a lot of the stonks in the crypto saving expert, it's not like a really young crowd. It's quite mixed because obviously you've got a real range of ages in there. You've got obviously people like Justin and Christian. I don't know how old Steve-O is, but Steve, I want Steve on the show as well. I love his howdy. Yeah, it's a good mix, and I think certainly it's for me it's a really good opportunity to learn from other people and learn from people's experiences, etc. And that's always sort of where I've really liked watching you is sort of that quite calm, nuanced take.
Yeah, no, it's always quite good to be calm when the world's crashing around you.
Yeah, it's a good trait to have.
That's kind of how my life's been, really. Sort of like, I've coped with quite major disasters, and it's like, it's all right. You get through it,
Yeah, you
go.
take the rough and the tumble.
That's it. Yeah.
Thank you so much for this. I'm sorry to record short, but definitely I will drop you a note because I would love to have a follow-up session on this because I've quite enjoyed this. And it's quite nice to not have the camera on and no wizard outfit.
Yeah. Yeah. I must admit, I've been slurping my tea and picking my nose, everything,
And next time we can talk more crypto. I think it's really interesting. I really do like sort of diving into people's stories and understanding sort of like how they get into this, what makes them tick, and sort of understanding a little bit behind. Because I feel like certainly in the crypto and the live streaming spaces, you never sort of really see behind the curtain per se. And I think this is a good opportunity to. And going back to when we sort of said about the YouTubers, it humanizes. I know we're all humans anyway, but it's very easy just to see sort of people on YouTube and people in the crypto space as just whatever NFT they have as their profile picture. And I think it's interesting to sort of delve into the other side of that.
Yeah. Well, I have said I'll put the camera on when I get to 10,000.
So go give him a follow. Go give SaveWithCrypto a follow and get him to 10K.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you'll see when the camera does go on, but
would you go outfit or would you go full docs?
I don't know. I might just do a Dave and have the sunglasses and a hat.
Well, if you wait until after summer, it gets a lot easier. I know myself and Dave, we've been struggling with the outfits over the summer.
Yeah. Well, especially with that bloody snood that he washes once a year.
It's disgusting, isn't it?
Filthy man. Right, I better let you go.
Yeah, everyone, thank you. Give SaveWithCrypto a follow. I believe you're on tomorrow, aren't you, with Dave? I'm
on tomorrow with Dave, yeah. And I'm actually doing one on my own channel as well tomorrow afternoon at 4:30. 4:30 UK time as well tomorrow afternoon.
Very nice. I've got jalapeno on tomorrow. Yeah, so that should be fun. Ramping up the live streams a little bit now. It's quite fun. But follow SaveWithCrypto.
Right, I better go, hadn't I?
I'm plugging here, but I need a coffee. I think before I got on with Spud, but. Thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. And don't get wrecked. Enjoy the bull run when it comes. And make sure, take all of your money and save it with crypto.
Yeah.
See ya.